Two words. Charles Leclerc. Oh, it was his, wasn't it? It really was his. The race of his dreams absolutely shattered in just the last few laps of the race. Absolutely gutted for him. As you all know, probably from the previous shows we've done, even from our pole position podcasts since the start of last season, I've been a big Charles Leclerc fan, and for it to happen to him like that, where the race was his, as I've just mentioned, and he had full control, from starting the race in pole, but then losing the lead before the first turn, then going down to third, and then to actually retake the lead as well and control it as he did. It was absolute world championship driving. A lot of people predict him to become a world champion one day. Lewis Hamilton praised his performance at the end of the race and didn't try and take full credit from winning because he knows it wasn't his race. Mercedes have got things to worry about now because the pace was just not there in Bahrain. But as most of us predicted, this should have been a Ferrari race. Now Ferrari have shot themselves in the foot because in terms of opportunities this season, if they want to beat Mercedes, they've got to take them. And for them to not win in Bahrain, this time last season, Ferrari with Vettel had won the first two races in Melbourne and Bahrain. And at this moment in time, it's Mercedes that have taken the first two races. So what happens now? Is it already going to get to that point where, in my eyes, Ferrari have got to prioritise on one of their drivers? Because I'm not sure how they're going to do in China. China hasn't been good to them in the last few years. We all remember Red Bull winning it last year with Daniel Ricciardo with that incredible strategy. We don't know who could win it this time. Maybe Mercedes being the favourites. But is it now time for Ferrari to pick their number one driver for the season? Because if you look at the first two races, in my eyes, Charles Leclerc has been better. Obviously, Bahrain, he nailed it. Vettel spun when he was nowhere near Lewis Hamilton, actually. There was no contact there. It was all down to Vettel. And then straight away on the team radio, he asks to box because of the tyres. Now, Vettel, I think, should have been overtaken by Leclerc in Australia. But we believe that there was team orders from Ferrari telling Leclerc to stay behind Vettel, which I didn't understand. And you should let them race in the first couple of Grand Prix at least. So for me, I think Leclerc will take it hard for now. I think the next few days for him, he'll just keep looking back at that race thinking that could have been my first ever race win in my second ever Grand Prix for a big team like Ferrari. But, he'll have to move on, and I'm sure he will get that race win. It'll come some point this season if he can drive like that consistently. It's just breathtaking to watch. And I think overall, really, Vettel's got to improve because he's making more and more mistakes. That's 4 spins now he's done since, I believe, the Italian Grand Prix last season. So for me, Vettel, he's in a very tricky situation. Leclerc is looking good. Mercedes have been lucky. But at the same time, you need luck to win these championships.